in general, consuming political topics after the election. But there are a lot of down periods in this stuff. Okay, you can call in. It should work now. You can join Discord as well. There's a Discord link in the channel description. In the video descriptions on my channel, I mean. A lot of Discord links on the video descriptions of my channels. Okay, the video descriptions of my channels. Nope. I'm not taking unknown numbers.
Hey man, I just wanted to talk about the economy and all this stuff that's going on. I wonder if we can get to it. I'll leave the comment down at your page. Just give me a second. Alright, but
Cool. Jeremy said first. Nice, Jeremy. Good for you, buddy. Alright, no one's calling in. No one's calling. So sad. I thought someone was going to call in. I had such high expectations. What a shame. What a shame. The judge will laugh that you can change. The choir sings. The church bell rings. What a shame. The right is canceling their town halls because they're too afraid of public comments. As a veteran, I am ashamed to be an American right now. Trump is a traitor. Well, thank you for expressing that. Did you see Trump today say that he questions if NATO countries would actually come to the defense of America when America is the only country that evoked Article 5 of NATO and actually got our allies killed in Afghanistan, which was probably the least justified conflict to go into for as far as Article 5 is concerned for NATO. Not even Iraq. It was actually Afghanistan that we had allies. I think thousands of troops died from other countries, and Trump questioned them today. Would they actually show up for this? Would they actually show up?
Burst of emotion. I was emotional.
Okay. Thank you for $5, Jordan. Certified bot. Beep boop. The Reaper of Zombies is a certified bot, and I should know. Beep boop. Kyle programmed me in the bright blue waters of Alaska. Right up. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I understand that. So, Al Green. The big goal of my, I think it's really simple. My concept of how we have power right now, because Democrats don't have the House, Senate, or anything, but they do have power in the microphone. You can say things, and you can change people's minds. Whoops. Okay. When you say things, you can change people's minds, and if you change their minds, you can change how they act, how they vote, what kind of movement they're a part of, etc. You need to be in front of them to change their minds, okay? And Republicans are good at getting earned media, typically, with podcasts, with saying dumb things. Al Green got censured by the House because he stood up during Trump's pep rally, because it's really a pep rally with cheerleaders in the crowd, and he said, you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. And some Democrats voted to censure Al Green as well. And it's like the hall monitors of Congress, essentially. Republicans were like, how dare you not have decorum, Al Green, ignoring Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert with their Neanderthal-shaped skulls screaming a bunch of dumb noises at Biden. They never got censured or kicked out of the State of the Union addresses. But regardless, Al Green was able to get free earned media by standing up and making a story. Now he's going to tell you his reasoning for doing that and his policy vision and what he's fighting for. So simple steps Democrats can follow to get millions of dollars in free media without spending $1 on advertising.
And I did it with intentionality. The president indicated that he had a mandate. I said to the president, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. I have constituents who need Medicaid. They will suffer and some will die.
And remember, this is a Democrat talking about real policies that affect working class people and poor kids and the elderly, okay, who are all mostly people that worked really hard their entire lives, and now they cannot afford a super fancy retirement home or whatever, or a super fancy estate. So now they need Medicaid to help them in like nursing homes and whatever else it might be. This is the Democrat. He's interrupting Trump because Trump wants to cut real programs that are going to affect people. And that's why Democrats had a problem with Trump bringing out the kid for a propaganda reason, the kid that has cancer, the honorary police officer that he made into a Secret Service agent. They said, okay, so you care about this one kid for propaganda purposes, but you're going to cut funding for children's cancer research. You're going to cut funding for Medicaid, so kids are going to die because they don't have health care. But you're going to wheel out this kid to be a propaganda tool for you. Disgusting. Meanwhile, Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, they screamed to interrupt Biden to talk about they believe in like Jewish space lasers and conspiracy theories about Pizzagate. So the methods of causing disruption, it should be used by the left, but use it for real issues that are going to affect people, like Al Green is doing here. But just remember, Republicans, you only care about emotional culture war issues. Republicans care about emotional culture war issues. They don't really fight for or stand for much else.
If they don't get Medicaid.
At least today's Republicans.
I heard the speaker when he said that I should cease. I did not, and I did not with intentionality. It was not done out of a burst of emotion. I was emotional about it, but I did it with intentionality.
It's also hilarious hearing Trumpers pretend they care about decorum. Like, how dare you violate the rules of civility and decorum? Man, they're such emotional manipulators, bro. They can say all the most outrageous shit, but the moment a Democrat says something that even indicates they have some type of like life to them, Republicans are like, how dare you say something so mean to us? That violates the rules of decorum. Cry bullies.
I think that on some questions of conscience, you have to be willing to suffer the consequences. And I have said I will. I will suffer whatever the consequences are, because I don't believe that in the richest country in the world, people should be without good health care. I stood up for my constituents then. I'm standing up for my constituents now. I am grateful to Mr. McGovern for what he has said.
Trump got through that entire 10-hour speech. He shit on trans people for 40% of it, okay? Trans people, which make up 1% of the population. He shit on immigrants. He shit on Joe Biden. He blamed Joe Biden for shit he's doing. And Trump did not mention Americans and their health care once. He did not mention Americans and their paychecks once. He did not mention any issue that affects working class Americans once. Only issues that would make people emotional and start crying and be like, yeah, Trump said America's back. Go for America. He never talks about issues that affect people. Meanwhile, Al Green, who stood up and yelled at Trump, had more substance in his 10-second statement. You have no mandate to cut Medicaid. In that one 10-second statement, Al Green said more about actual policies that affect the American people than Trump did in that entire 2-hour speech.
I'm grateful to those who have been standing with me, but I will tell you, I appreciate you. No anger. The officers who escorted me out, they were kind to me. I don't blame the speaker for anything. Friends, I would do it again. I have to be candid with you. I'm not trying to in some way insult you. This is a matter of principle. This is a matter of conscience. There are people suffering in this country because they don't have health care. I'll close with this. On some issues that are matters of conscience, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. This is where I stand.
Trump lied on an official statement on White House Gov saying he put $2,000 back into the pockets of families today. What families? Where's that statement at? Did Trump actually make that claim? Trump, $2,000 Trump White House, $2,000. Let's see if you made a claim about that. Well, it does say that Trump's tariffs will cost the working class families up to $2,000 a year. That is funny though. That is hilarious. That the one issue tariffs that do raise costs for Americans. Trump's like, it might create a little disruption. Who cares? It's like, okay, dude, you guys never cared about inflation. The only inflation you cared about was the inflated egos you would have once your daddy was back in office, and you can start hating people again for funsies because you don't care about building anything with your neighbors. You care about tearing shit down. It's a sad way to live. I hope you come outside and join human civilization eventually, because it's really sad to sit there and just like cry about minority groups that you don't like because you don't like them. It's really sad, emotional, pathetic, whatever word you want to use for it. You guys gotta chill. You guys gotta chill out and stop being cringe. Make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me to the Jolah Rogan Hour. Nice. Why can I not? Okay, I can't see that. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, bro. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's so cool, bro. That's so cool. Wow. Thank you for commenting that. You are a sweetheart. 10 Democrats to censure Green. Ed Case, Jim Costa, Ami Bera, Laura Gillen, Jim Himes, Chrissy Houlihan, Marcy Kaptur, Jared Moskowitz, Marie Glusimkamp Perez, Tom Suozzi.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Hi. Nice. That was really cool. That was so cool. That was so cool, dude. That was so cool. Elon Musk blew up a rocket ship today?
Because of the lack of progress that we've had on this issue. And as we know, Republicans weaponize.
Call from.
Cass.
Howdy.
What's going on, Jolah?
Nothing much. How about you?
Oh, you know, enjoying the late night.
It is a beautiful late night, dude. Beautiful late night. It was raining all day today. You like the rain?
It is. It's not raining here. Whereabouts you at? Northeast?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have some questions, some comments.
Go ahead.
My first being, so my whole premise for this call is not to prove you wrong, it's to prove you right.
Wow.
My first question, are there any items on any of the agendas for the Trump administration that you agree with?
So I'm anti-money in politics and I'm anti big banks, and I'm anti-monopolies, and I'm anti-big tech. So probably not. I don't. I'm trying to think. Is there anything? Let me see. Trump administration initiatives. Trump admin initiatives, and I mean like actual initiatives. No, stuff they said they would do, like banning pharmaceutical advertising. Yeah, I agree with that, but they're not going to actually do that or even try to. So I don't know.
Well, how can you say that they're not going to or not going to try to? I can see where you might bring it to that they might not be trying to, but I don't know how you could take it to its logical conclusion of if they're not trying to, then they also aren't going to.
Because Trump was president before and he deregulated big pharma more, and he wants to like roll back Medicare's ability to negotiate drug prices. So he's probably not gonna, and he's also like very beholden to huge money, more than most presidents would be. So I doubt he's gonna go against the industries like that.
Okay, so he's beholden to big money in what way?
Every policy he does benefits the ultra wealthy.
Okay, but pharmaceutical companies in particular?
Well, they do have a lot of money. And when it comes to actually like regulating pharmaceutical ads, I just don't think they would actually try that because he was president before and he did not do anything about that at all.
Yeah, he was president before, and that was in 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, and he's not doing anything different right now.
I think he is.
I mean, he's firing labor board officials and trying to purge judges and what does
military
that have to do
with pharmaceutical
generals. He just like doesn't care about issues like that. He has not said one thing about healthcare or pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, but that purview is under RFK.
Trump could say, for example, like Biden did, he could sign an executive order. Actually, Trump actually reversed an executive order that was going to lower prescription drug prices. So Trump already reversed the Biden executive order that was going to do that.
What executive order was that?
I'll find it. But it was something to do with policy methods for lowering drug prices. And Trump reversed that executive order. And he wants to reverse, like I said before, Medicare's ability to negotiate drug costs and that kind of stuff.
I'm also looking for that particular executive order.
One Biden era executive order instructed Medicare to explore ways to reduce drug costs. So like Joe Biden allowed the initiatives for the $35 cap on insulin, the over-the-counter prescription, or not the over-the-counter, but the prescription drug caps for Part D, the Medicare's ability to negotiate drugs, and there was another one, this executive order that Trump overturned. Let me see. It was the prescription drug cost one that instructed Medicare to look for limiting prescription drug costs, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to find what number it is, but
this is specifically in regards to Medicare?
Yeah, yeah, he did not get to the negotiating Medicare drug prices one yet to cut that. But he did cut. I'm trying to find. Yeah, it was like an initiative for Medicare to look how they can reduce drug costs that he overturned.
Okay. So I want to put a pin in that because I do want to come back to it. To what degree does that have to do with pharmaceutical advertisements?
It just shows that he does not want to stand up to the pharmaceutical industry in every other way. As president, he deregulates everything. If you deregulate, then pharmaceutical companies can screw people over.
I do believe pharmaceutical industries do screw people over to some degree. There is the whole kerfuffle about all the middlemen that exist within the pharmaceutical industry that bring the pharmaceuticals to the table of the pharmacists, which there's a lot of money in that. One of the absolutely atrocious things, and I'm speaking from experience, is the amount of diagnosis, treatment, and use of Medicaid in order to boost profits from practitioners. Now, to the degree of being able to negotiate prices from a Medicaid standpoint, yeah, I can see that being a thing. If he actually did rescind that order and there's nothing in place and RFK doesn't have anything in place to tackle that, yeah, that is, I'd agree. That's something that's not great. I will tell you that from an insurance standpoint and from even a Medicaid standpoint, paying cash is 99.9%. Well, I don't want to be hyperbolic. It's probably 75% cheaper to pay cash than it is to operate through insurance or operate through Medicaid. So
It depends what kind of insurance you have too.
no, it actually doesn't.
It does matter what kind of insurance you have and what kind of risk pool the insurance has, because the deductibles and premiums can be lower if you have a wider risk pool that covers more people, because then they have more people paying in and less cost to endure. And also if the population becomes healthier, it can also be cheaper for that reason as well. But like for myself right now with my insurance plan, it'd be so much more expensive for me to get, because I have employer-based insurance. It'd be so much more expensive for me to get to pay cash somehow.
How many times do you go to the doctor in a year? On average,
I don't know.
For the last
If you
couple
go in
years.
for if you have no insurance at all and you need a knee replacement, for example, how much do you think it'll cost under insurance versus cash?
For cash, it's typically between 40 to 60% less than what insurance would pay out.
So if you're on any insurance plan and you're like a 50-year-old that needs a knee replacement, it's going to be far cheaper if you're on insurance than it will be to pay in cash, because you're going to be paying less in deductibles and premiums, especially once you meet
No, but if
the
you're
deductible.
but if you're a 50-year-old, you're a higher risk.
Yeah, but if you're 50 years old, it makes a lot more sense to be on insurance, and it does. I mean, insurance
Right,
does
so-
work by the healthy people helping pay into the risk pool, so anyone that might need help can get help, so they don't have to
Right,
pay
so I-
$30,000 cash out of pocket.
So I agree with you. Younger people should probably opt for cash pay because the likelihood of having a knee replacement is a lot less likely.
But I'm for systems more so that people pay in, so we can help people that can't afford to just pay out of cash for everything. And it's usually a more productive society if people can see the doctor without worrying about paying cash if something bad happens to them.
So can you expand on that argument or that position? It's not really an argument.
I mean, if a young person gets into a serious situation, they're not going to be able to pay cash regardless. But having insurance gives them patient protections. It gives them access to checkups they probably would not get because they're trying to save money otherwise. But if someone has a really bad accident, it still benefits young people. Whether it's a car crash or, I don't know, you're playing a sport and fractured bone, or, break your Achilles or whatever it might be. It'd be good to be on insurance because it is what's called. It's called insurance for a reason. So if you have more and more and more people paying into the health insurance, it gets cheaper for everyone. Plus, anyone that might need care can still get care, and it creates a more productive overall society. Less people are injured, more people are able to get care. And yeah, everything in those systems typically turn out better, and that's why countries that have like universal plans, their people live like 8 years longer than we do in America on average because they're happier, they're healthier, they don't have to worry about paying out of cash for like a knee replacement.
Yeah, but I'd argue that there are other factors that go into the health in America to those that live in America versus those that live abroad. So what you're advocating more is for catastrophe insurance, so more along the lines of actual insurance as opposed to kind of the system that we have now.
I'd advocate for a system like what Australia has. So like everyone is guaranteed to be on the Medicare plan, but if you want to pay extra for a premium experience, you can pay for a more expensive plan. So you can either be on the Medicare system, but everyone still pays into it. You get a rebate back for healthcare. You could use the rebate for private plans. I'm pretty sure it works something like that. But yeah, I'd rather a system that operates as a service for everyone involved. I'm pretty sure even tourists can access healthcare in Australia, and you only pay like $10 if you see a doctor because their system is more stable and the price controls are easier. It makes care cheaper because if you have a universal system and like Medicare can negotiate lower prices, or like their governments can negotiate lower prices since they have multi-payer, which a government plays a big role. So like hospitals right now with like 50 different insurance companies can charge super high prices. They're not really limited by like we'd have to have some mechanism to it's why prescription drug prices are more in America too. We don't have like one person or like one system negotiating drug prices to be lower. It's a bunch of fragmented private plans that can't really manage cost as effectively in America.
That's interesting. It's funny. One of the things that you said during the whole it was a change that United Healthcare was making in regards in terms of their anesthesia. And from what I've read, now I didn't go through and read through the policy. I probably could. From what I've read, it sounded like they were reducing the amount of anesthesia to match the Medicaid pricing, or the Medicaid time. So Medicaid is negotiating for lesser time, and insurance companies are matching for lesser time, but everybody's up in arms over the fact that insurance companies won't pay because Medicare is negotiating for something less. Wouldn't you call that deficient?
It's actually an interesting policy because I think that'd be a decent policy to have in America is if like whatever Medicare charges for something, a private insurer needs to charge the same amount. So like how much a service costs, or like prescription drug costs, whatever Medicare pays for it, they can negotiate down. But if you're a private cover insurer, then you have to provide it at the same price Medicare or Medicaid does. That's actually an interesting policy I saw like Ro talk about. But I'm not really sure. The company policy change was there was a lot of misinformation about it.
What was the misinformation?
The idea that they were gonna like kill people, or like they were gonna not get the amount of anesthesia that people need for surgeries. I'm pretty sure that
right, they were matching Medicaid.
Yeah. So like right now, private insurance pays like 4 times more for everything than Medicare or Medicaid does, because Medicare and Medicaid are much more efficient than private insurance.
No. I'm talking specifically about the time. The amount of time they were reducing to match the Medicaid policies that were in place. So Medicaid is paying for less time than what the private insurance companies were paying for, and they were reducing the amount of time in order to match Medicaid.
Oh, they're using. This is complicated. 1 second.
Again, this is my understanding. I didn't go through and read the policies.
No, because it's something. This was something a little bit different from what I'm saying. 1 second.
I understand you're arguing for prices. I'm talking about I'm bringing in to Medicaid in this argument a previous argument that you made in regards to the policy that United Healthcare and your opposition against the reduction in time. From my understanding, the reduction in time was in order to match the amount of time that was being paid for by Medicaid. So United Healthcare was paying for more time They reduced it to match what Medicaid was paying. Your previous argument was that you were upset about it. Your present argument is that you're
When did I say I was upset about it?
You what?
When did I say I was upset about it?
Maybe 3-4 months ago.
Yeah, so like for Medicaid, I'd rather a price like match for Medicare, not Medicaid. So
Okay,
I don't
so
agree with
Medicaid-
matching it to Medicaid because Medicare has higher standards than Medicaid does because Medicaid is just for poor people, but Medicare, there's a lot more people that have money that are getting it. So the policies are typically better. There's a lot more funding in the system. But yeah, Medicaid is different. So like a Medicare match, I'd be for, but Medicaid, and it does matter which system you go off of, obviously, because there's going to be different standards for it. But like
in regards to the amount of time.
yeah, so like, and that would actually make Anthem's insurance less competitive too with other companies, because like let's say like a hospital provides surgeries that are like over 100 minutes, which was the limit. If you're on Medicaid, then you're screwed now, because hospitals would know they need to take a loss if they take you as a patient, so they would deny more claims for Medicaid on that basis, if it's capped at a certain amount of time. So yeah, people on Medicaid suffer. I wonder if there's a similar time limit for Medicare.
It's definitely possible. It could have been Medicare that that they were.
Yeah, so Medicare has no time blocks like Medicaid does.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me look this up. Medicare.
Yeah, so like
and
Medicare's lower reimbursement. Medicare has a price that doesn't go that does not exceed a certain amount, but the Anthem policy or Medicaid policy would have capped the actual time of it. But Medicare does not cap time; it just caps prices. But the services cost so much because if some healthcare policies will pay higher than Medicare, then the prices from every hospital in the country are going to go up, especially if there's a million different private companies all kind of competing for these different areas. Whereas if there's no competition in that sense where every country's kind of competing to pay higher prices, we'd instead have a system where companies would be challenged with providing good services for lower prices. And one reason our care costs higher in America for hospitals than it does in like Canada or Australia or Germany, even with comparable populations, because like Australia has a similar obesity rate to what we do. I hear people use that as an argument for our system having worse outcomes pretty often. But yeah, the hospitals and how they're ingrained with the insurance industries allows them to charge a lot more for prices, and that's why like the incentives for a medical system are kind of difficult to track for like in terms of like the free market and how the free market is concerned. It's a hard market to manage because the market incentives don't always go in the right direction.
Yeah, but to what degree is it a free market when the government is involved in whether or not you're required to have insurance, and to what level of insurance that needs to be paid? My argument on this is that because and I've seen it not in multiple industries when it comes to insurance. I've been working in insurance industries for the better part of the last 8 years in one industry and 2 years prior to that in a different part of the insurance industry. And I know several people in multiple parts of the insurance industry. And to a large degree, the incentives for kind of what your argument is for is let's get prices cheaper, right? In this particular instance, it sounds like the means is through Medicare, and not through Medicaid.
No,
Because
Medicaid is going to have worse
additional
care.
payments. Do what?
That's mainly because Medicaid has worse care in general than Medicare does.
Right, yeah. So let's get prices cheaper. That's the root of the argument, right? We want more affordable health care.
Yeah, but Yeah, but
Am I
the
wrong in that?
issue in America, if you pay like the Obamacare mandate, for example, we're paying once to facilitate we're paying to do the facilitated Affordable Care Act marketplaces. So we're paying a mandate to private companies and then paying deductibles and premiums on top of a mandate and whatever we need to like pay into the overall system. So a large percentage of what we pay for is the bloated administrative fees, which are much higher for private companies versus Medicare, because private companies spend a lot of money trying to deny coverage versus other countries as well. So like my ideal system would be to allow, for example, Medicare Part there's like Part B and Part D, like allow another part of Medicare or have just like private plans on top of Medicare and slowly lower the Medicare age over time until it covers everyone eventually, and then make like a 2-tier system. 1 tier being the government plan that everyone's guaranteed whether they lose their job, whatever. It's a very baseline of care. And then number 2 would be you could buy, like the 2nd tier could be you could buy private insurance on top of your Medicare if you want like I don't know, lower waiting times and higher quality. And then employers can, instead of employers using insurance as a way to lock employees in where they cannot switch jobs, I believe it gives more freedom to people too if they have some type of plan to fall back on if they do lose their job or if they want to switch jobs. They'll have insurance regardless. But we could also maintain a market in America as well, kind of like the Australian or German systems. So yeah, I want it to be more affordable, be cheaper, and I think the expenses that we accrue in America, how we pay so much more per capita in America, although we have like 40 million people with no insurance at all, is largely because a lot of our money goes to profits and goes to administrative costs and the bloated cost of like health of like hospitals.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing from this, it sounds like you're for the reduction of administrative costs, and you are for basic health care. And I'm assuming that this is for things like colds, flus, maybe simple procedures that people learn how to do within their first year of residency. And then, yeah, I can agree with that. The removal of the government and the smaller, not of the government, removal of the smaller items being paid for to for-profit companies, the emergency rooms for things like, I guess maybe like arm breaks.
Well, I would still have like Medicare, like the expansive system. I would still have that cover pretty much, most things. But like right now, a lot of people rack up they use the emergency room as their doctor because they don't have insurance. So they actually cost hospitals a lot more money and cost the system a lot more money. And that drives up costs for us as well. If people are using the emergency room with issues that could be solved by a nurse practitioner or an RN or a physician's assistant, or just like a family doctor, those people take that issue to the ERs and make us cost us a lot more money. There are a lot of preventative healthcare measures we could take as well that would allow people to have less diseases, less injuries, invest more money in wellness and health in general. If we did not have a system right now that was so fractured. So I mean, I would be adding a tax to everyone for this system, but everyone would be guaranteed if they lose a job or whatever, kind of like how it works in these countries that do a lot better than us. But you could also, if you do well or if you get a job in general, then they could add hey, but as a perk of this job, we have Medicare Part D or whatever private insurance companies you have an option to increase. I don't know, skip wait lines and stuff like that. Because I know the big criticism of Bernie Sanders' system and Canada is wait times. But Australia and Germany, if you do have a certain amount of privilege or you want to pay for private coverage, you can pay a premium and get that coverage. But also everyone has coverage. It lowers the crime rate. It lowers the mental health issues. It lowers the amount of kids that it actually heightens productivity in general. And there's a lot of negative externalities that are cut out in these systems. And I would say as well that I consider like corporations to be their own governments in a sense. So like the vast majority of people that do have health insurance would probably pay less under this system, just because like right now they're paying the health insurance company the administrative costs, the higher costs in general. No one's able to negotiate costs down because of the bloated system and all these insurance companies. And we do already pay taxes into healthcare, so we should just do, taxes into healthcare. Don't do deductibles and premiums. Don't do mandates to facilitate private markets so they can make profit off of it. Make it an industry that's focused on serving people and taking out the bloat of it. So that if I was a Democrat and I was running on universal healthcare, that's the universal healthcare I'd run on.
I feel like it's a pretty moderate standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, the full single payer is Canada. The full government owned like doctors and payer would be like the NHS in the UK. And then, like I said before, Germany and Australia have mixed models that still guarantees coverage to everyone with much better outcomes. And all these countries, their people live like 7 years longer than Americans do. And it really is by zip code. So like poor people and working class people would benefit the most from having like a system like that here. America is, in terms of first world countries, is extremely radical in a sense that we are very to the overwhelming free market side of and bloated side of the equation. So like UK's full control NHS, Canada single payer, then Australia. I agree that's a moderate position, but I think America is far, not far right, but to the more free market as far as healthcare systems are concerned.
I think the idea is that it should be more free market, but I don't think that in actuality and practice, the way that it is set up now is as free market as it has been in the past. And I find it interesting. So you're talking about you're saying that through your job, the benefits of insurance is more expensive, and you think that having insurance as a benefit should be removed. Am I right?
No, I'm saying that it should be an actual benefit. It should not be like, for example, like right now, the only reason some people can afford any health care is because they have a job. So if they lose that job, they're screwed because they are going to lose their healthcare if they lose their job. Or if they want to switch jobs, there might be a gap where they don't have any coverage, or they might have to question what coverage they do have. I'm saying that employers, we'd all be on the universal plan, but employers can actually offer a better healthcare plan as incentives and as a premium. And if you opt to use that private plan, you actually get a tax rebate back from the government. So a percentage of the taxes you paid in to the Medicare system, if you're not going to use it, if you're not going to use the government system, you get a rebate from that, and then you could put that towards whatever premium private plan you then you would then be opting for. But yeah, that's why it says like a two-tier model. But the businesses can actually provide it as like an actual benefit rather than right now being like life or death for some people.
Okay, I can.
Oh, I'll also add just like another caveat as well, like state governments and all the different complicated methods we need to go through, like state governments, local, federal, private insurer markets, different state plans, and going across state lines and how your healthcare functions in different states. Like all of that stuff creates a super complicated and bloated system as well. So streamlining it can be a little bit more simple. That's why, like, if you're 64 years old, I know so many people who are like begging to get on, like, to be 65 to be on Medicare, so they don't need to deal with like private insurance anymore.
I can get behind some of that. I still think that some of the stuff that's going on within the Medicare, Medicaid system, some of the things that are going on within the private healthcare system, and I do agree with you. The administrative in-betweens, the middlemen, it does create a very, very large discrepancy between the prescriber and the prescribee. I guess I don't know if that's a word, but it definitely does add, and there's definitely some things that we can do there. I do think that there is some things that can be done through nurse practitioners. I do believe that most nurse practitioners do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to those that are affected by, whatever's going on. I also think that there should be a push for a cultural change into understanding just basic medical practice, and not even medical practice, just basic medical understanding in terms of basic diagnostics. As to my example is it's fairly easy to tell when somebody has strep throat, right? It's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty easy to tell when somebody has a cold or the flu or something that's relatively similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there should be cultural teachings in that sphere.
Well, for a strep, you do need a strep test. So like we can have a process where it's like if I don't know, you have a picture of it, you can send it to your doctor. They can say, oh yeah, that's worth coming into the office. You can have a system where you don't need to see the doctor every single time, or you can see a nurse, or you could administer a strep test pretty easily.
Strep, to get a verification that it is strep, as 100% verification, get a strep test, 100%. It's not medical advice.
Yeah, because there's a couple different things like strep can be. So I'm just saying, like in general, like you can see, if you see like the white spots in your throat, then you might need to go to the doctor sooner. So you can get antibiotics or whatever, so it doesn't proceed into whatever the other thing is you can get with strep. But like you said something about like healthy people and healthcare, but like my big thing with people in healthcare, if someone put in chat how their friend had like a brain tumor or something, I forgot what the chat said exactly. But like I'm okay with paying extra into the healthcare system to guarantee if I develop I don't know, if you break your arm or cancer or whatever it might be, a tumor, whatever that diabetes, whatever it might be, that might be more expensive than just paying out of pocket for elective treatments or for like check-ins with the doctor. I'm fine paying more in the premiums for that, chance that I get one of those big issues. Even if I'm a young healthy adult, it's really good having that peace of mind. And also, I don't really want my neighbors going through that stuff as well. And like I said before, if my neighbors go through that stuff, the crime rate goes higher. The happiness of the people that I'm around gets a lot lower. It's just a lot worse of a world, and we lose our sense of community as well. So I'm happy paying more to support people who truly go through a lot of things that are out of their control, or even in their control that are huge health issues. Because you want everyone to be healthy for a more productive society. And I think if we have a culture that's more geared towards helping each other, I think that would actually go a long way in getting buy-in from people to do things like take care of their health more. If we have like a more open community where we say we care about each other and we're not just going to be like alone in this free market wasteland, Mad Max, whatever. I feel like more people would be out in the community and like teaching each other things about health and mindfulness and wellness or whatever. If we did have a culture that was focused more on helping each other over just like companies finding out how they could squeeze profits out of us at every turn, and then we could hold our elected officials accountable if they mess up the system. So I think that's like a good mechanism. But right now I don't really know if people have enough literacy to keep track of a lot of that stuff. But
well, I think that might be putting a little bit of a stigma onto Joe Everyman, because I mean there are a lot of people that I know that you would first glance you'd be like, all right, this guy doesn't seem to be the brightest of the bright. And
it's not about dumb. I think people are smart, but the issue is right now, like the cultural issues are the big divider. The culture issues can make our critical thinking parts of our brain shut off, and also the information environments. Like if I talk to a Trump supporter about this topic, like a super hardcore Trumper, then I usually just hear like, okay, well, this is communism. Trumper. Well, you're not. You're obviously okay. If you're saying the things I'm saying are somewhat reasonable, you're not reading freaking Laura Loomer, Marjorie Taylor Greene conspiracy theories about globalism and communism and universal healthcare being a sign of Satan. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people, especially from rural areas, that like saw a smartphone for the first time, and now they believe the wildest shit about the world. and I just don't like the cultural issues are the thing that makes our brains go crazy. If you're like a hardcore Trump supporter, then like Trump spent his 2-hour speech, like a lot of it was focusing on trans population, which is like 1% of the population, and also immigrants
not a
and
lot
Joe
of it.
Biden.
No, there wasn't a whole lot talking about trans. There was probably maybe a 10-minute segment. There was a lot of other stuff that was covered within that 2-hour speech. I don't think the majority of it, and I've seen that speech 4 times, and I saw the speech 4 times watching multiple people react, as well as watching the speech by itself. So I watched the speech by itself so that way I could take my own information, and then I watched other people give their opinions on them so that way it could shift and shape my ideas as to whether or not, hey, this is something that I didn't consider. This is a perspective that I didn't see, versus me looking at something and saying that, hey, I know everything because I saw it myself.
Do you believe in the transgender mice? Do you think that's a real thing?
Oh, it's 100% a real thing.
Do you think that mice have genders?
Yes.
Do you think they made mice transgender to study gender dysphoria?
Do I think they made them transgender? No. Do I think that there was a study and funding for mice to understand the gender effects or sexual effects of, and I'm using gender in synonymity with sex.
Okay, so this was debunked a few weeks ago, but Trump repeated it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
so the study was about, but the study was about transgenic. It was about transgenic mice, which is a term about
look up
growths inside,
yeah,
like introducing
look up CNN's
foreign.
retraction. Look up CNN's retraction. It was debunked by propagating that it was about transgenic, and then they went, oh crap, no, we messed up.
The one DOGE contract they canceled was for transgenic, but I did not see if there was another transgender one. But I did see the DOGE contract that was canceled, and they said it was for transgender animals, but it was for transgenic. So this might be a different thing. I'll have to Google it.
Look up trans mice CNN. MSN CNN.
Okay, regardless, I don't think they made. I'm pretty sure there's no trans mice. But I could see. So the transgender mice comment was said first in DOGE.
This is on MSN.
I don't trust the biased liberal media.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But when they're fact checking themselves.
No, I don't trust that. No, I don't trust what they say. You cannot cite them.
Okay, but you cited them in a short, like a week ago. So
no, I don't trust. I don't
them,
trust them. Wait, you can't cite them either because you don't trust them. Don't cite them. Cite someone else.
Okay, so if we're going to let's see, cf.org. I don't know who these guys are. CNN retracts fact check on Trump's transgender mice comment. CNN issued a correction after the network inaccurately asserted that President Donald Trump falsely claimed the Biden administration spent $8 million to make mice transgender. And I'm going to scroll down, and it says the White House released a statement listing 6 NIH grants for studies on hormone treatments in mice, a combined total of $8,290,053. Biden-era grants includes $455,000 to study gender, and quote, gender-affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccine-induced immune responses, $2.5 million to study the reproductive consequences of hormone therapy, $299,940,000 to study testosterone therapy on breast cancer risk treatment, $735,113 to study the effects of hormone therapy on mouse microbiomes. This has nothing to do with.
But none of that means transgender mice, though, right?
Right. I agree with you on that. They're bearing the lead here.
So, like on the two separate topics, just like one part being transgenic studies being canceled by DOGE, okay, for example, where they Googled trans and they canceled it because it said trans, but it was transgenic. That happened. Okay, and also like Trump saying there's transgender mice. That's also, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess you could say hormone therapy, studying the effects of hormones in the body, but also like, different people take hormones that are not trans as well. So studying that can, animal research like that is how we find out how things are going to affect humans. So I don't really have a problem with that research. I don't know if you would, but I just don't like having so many things like that represented as like, I don't know, like, oh, they're turning the mice trans because they're gender crazy. It's like, no, this is like a scientific thing that gets us a lot of information about like how this stuff will affect humans. I just feel like mocking that is just I don't know. I still want that research to be done. I don't want that stuff to be canceled.
I think research is important, but I think if you're researching things that are to this point have in the scientific community writ large shown to be generally damaging to humans, whether it be
what's generally damaging? Well, don't say logically.
Damaging psychologically, physiologically.
Okay, psychologically, okay. No, but in what ways? Like what is damaging in what ways?
Well, we can look at hormone replacement therapy. Not in the sense of those who are unable to create the hormones on their own, because that's thyroidism. We have general understandings and very well documented. Well, I say very well documented. We have well documented research on those types of issues. But when you start introducing additional hormones outside of what the body is able to create on its own, outside of what the body should be creating on its own, simply on a psychological basis.
And for this purposes, are you saying it should be banned?
Should what be banned?
Like hormone replacement therapy.
To what degree? For who?
For anyone, because a lot of people use hormones for different reasons.
I don't think it should be banned for anyone. I think it should be.
Okay.
I hold on. I think it should be banned for children who are typically going through their own hormonal growth into adulthood.
Into adulthood. Are you saying during puberty, or like when they turn 18 they can't get them?
Before, during, and after they are legally adults, because laws are a thing. For those who are simply suffering from a DSM-5 psychological disorder, yes, we should have extreme reservations on that.
You could have reservations on it. Like, you should have reservations before putting a kid on any drug or any medical
We should have legal reservations on hormone therapy as a result of an affirmed psychological disorder. I think that 100%.
So like if you work with a psychiatrist for multiple years and you're turning 16, you should not be allowed to start HRT at 16, are you saying?
No, the studies show that the desistance rates increase as time goes on post-puberty.
I'm saying that monitored by a medical board in a state, they can have standards that they set. I just don't think we should make laws about it. I think there should be more research done because, like I said, trans people get it, cis people get it, everyone gets it. Some type of hormone therapy. At some point, a lot of people get it. There should be more research done. It should be guided by medical boards and doctors. There's already not like irreversible surgeries happening before 18. Like Trump says, there are
irreversible.
schools and...
Wait, let me clarify. Let me clarify what you said. Did you say that there are not irreversible surgeries happening?
No,
Or there are?
I think in 99.9% of cases, there's not irreversible surgeries happening before the age of 18. Like when Trump says the kids go in school and they come back with their body parts chopped off or whatever, like that's just a complete lie.
Well, I mean, obviously it's a lie if they're going into a school. You can't get surgery in a school. I mean,
yeah,
I
but
guess
he just repeats
technically
that
you
stuff and people
could.
believe it. I know so many Trumpers that believe that unironically, which is why it's bad that Trump says it over and over again.
I've never heard him say that there are surgeries happening in schools.
He said that was
Um,
one of his main things. They go in, they get a treatment, and all of a sudden they're a different gender when they come home one day.
Well, there are definitely social reaffirming. I don't even know what the particular term would be. I don't think that if Trump said that kids are going into schools and having their body parts chopped off, I don't think that's accurate. If he's talking about kids that are going to school and then coming back from school saying that they don't feel like they align with their body psychologically.
Yeah,
So
in his
what did
speeches, he did say that they get surgeries in school without parental consent. Yeah, he says surgeries a lot in the campaign trail. Oh, yeah, at a Moms for Liberty event, he said that as well.
At a Moms for Liberty event. Now, I do know of some...
He said your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides your kid's going to get an operation. And people believe this now, and they're like, I know teachers that get attacked for this.
Now, I do know of a couple of cases where there have been children that were removed from their home and brought to states where the vetting process was more lax. And I do know that there were some states that passed laws in which the schools, by law, per the law passed, had an obligation not to speak with the parents.
So like a law in California says that like a teacher's not required to by law. They won't get arrested if they decide not to tell the parents. But there's nothing saying that the school cannot tell the parents at all if their kid is trans or gay. It's just that the teachers are not required to by law. But I don't know any states that like require teachers to hide any information. If a parent is asking, for example, it's just that teachers don't need to tell, especially because like a lot of this is because of abuse concerns. And if there are kids being taken to different states, like right now, being gay or trans in like Texas might get you a felony eventually because of the laws they want to pass. So like in those scenarios, or like if a woman has a miscarriage in Texas, it makes sense why they'd want to move to like a blue state where the freedoms are more free. Because in the red states they might go to jail.
I live in Texas. Miscarriages and what are those pregnancies? It starts with a P. I forget the name. I think it starts with a P. There's a specific type of pregnancy, ectopic, and definitely does not start with a P. Ectopic pregnancies and miscarriages are not considered in the state of Texas, and I know this. I live in the state of Texas. I looked at the laws here. It's not considered an abortion.
But do you see how like for example, if you're talking about murder, why like someone who's like does gynecology would not want to be in a state that can possibly make a determination that it's their fault. Like if a kid is not, or like let's say there's a child that's born and it's gonna die right away because of some health complication. You don't want to live in a state where it's possible for that state to blame you and possibly bring you to trial for murder. So that's why a lot of people are leaving Texas for health reasons.
Wait, so the child was born.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you're a state that's going to pass this law, you have some crazy judges who will say a miscarriage was the doctor's fault, and like it's just a scary scenario to be in those states that have, and they're trying to pass more aggressive laws too. But it's just like scary to practice these types of health procedures, because if the line between murder and not murder in the state's law is like discretion from like a judge, that's not, because like the state medical board should be enough regulation in my opinion. But if the law is going to be determined by a state judge, then I would just be scared to practice there if it's going to be like any scenario like that. It's scary.
So the fear is judges making decisions based on what?
Bias in general, just like blaming someone for something that didn't happen. If the abortion exemptions in like Texas, Oklahoma, and a couple other states like South Carolina, if you can lose your medical license or face years in prison for something, and you have something like a miscarriage or a medically necessary intervention, what if a judge disagrees that it was medically, I just think it should be a doctor's decision if it's medically needed at all. And I do not want a judge to be able to look at that case and be like, well, I actually disagree with you, and be able to put someone in jail. And I just think the protections in these states, according to doctors, are I know people who work in like gynecology, who work in like delivering actual babies, who say the laws in these states scare them. They're not going to go to schools anymore in these states because of these laws, and being concerned like, okay, well, if something goes wrong and they want to blame someone, they'll find someone to blame, and it creates a scary situation for both women and also providers.
I can understand where that would be a scary situation if
I have a name
medically
too.
necessary isn't defined loosely.
So
If
look up
medically
Dr. Caitlin
necessary,
Bernard. Dr. Caitlin Bernard. So there was a 10-year-old that got raped. And she traveled to Indiana after Ohio passed a more strict abortion law, and she performed the abortion for this 10-year-old rape victim, and she got fined by $3,000 and reprimanded, and got death threats and a bunch of other stuff from around the country. And they did not remove her license, but that's just one example of how like it creates an environment where people are questioning a doctor's decision, even if it's lawful. That public pressure, and also the different states' laws, when you're going from like the medical standards vary so greatly state to state, it's really difficult. And there was some issues with like reporting child abuse, and like there's a couple other conversations about it, but like the massive conversations were like her getting death threats and harassed for her doing this in general.
Right, and that's wrong. That's wrong across both sides. That's wrong on both sides of the aisle, right? Nobody should be getting death threats for holding positions that they hold. That's part of, that should be part of the zeitgeist of free speech, is that we should not vilify those who are holding their right to free speech and practicing their right to free speech. I completely agree with you on that.
But you see the issue there, like 10 years old, she was raped, 6 weeks pregnant, and she had to travel. She had to travel to a different state to find a doctor that would do the abortion. And that traumatized 10-year-old girl had to travel because of these Republican laws limiting their freedoms.
She was traveling from where to where? I'm kind of trying to brush up on this because I believe I remember this case. Indiana board reprimands Caitlin Bernard. So she was traveling from Ohio.
And Fox News commentators Jesse Waters and Tucker Carlson lied about her too, and that helped get her death threats because they lied about her. That's what I'm seeing.
Well, that I haven't read and I don't know about, so I won't comment on that.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is what the Fox people do. It's because of the Ohio's heartbeat abortion ban. Because she was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant, so she could not get an abortion. And there were no exceptions for rape or incest in Ohio.
Let's see. I don't know specifically Ohio's laws. Um, Now that sounds, I'm I'm at a disadvantage here because trying to look up the law, and specifically, I would much rather go and read the law myself.
It's a typical heartbeat. So like imagine the 6-week heartbeat ban. She was pregnant 6 weeks and 3 days, and there was no exceptions. No exceptions for rape or incest. So she would have had to carry the child or carry the fetus to birth in Ohio, essentially. There were no exceptions for it. I'm pretty sure Texas has that. Wait a second. Texas has no exceptions for rape or incest either.
Texas might.
Right. So and private citizens can sue anyone who helps
Wait,
someone get an
hold
abortion.
on. I'm looking at lawshun.com. Abortion laws, rape, incest, and exclusion. Ohio's abortion laws have been the subject of much debate and legal challenges in recent years, with a heartbeat law or fetal heartbeat bill coming under particular scrutiny. It says, however, ongoing legal battles and political divisions over abortion in Ohio continue to leave patients and medical providers in a state of uncertainty. Characteristics and values. Current exemptions: medical emergency, rape, incest, or if the pregnant person's life is in danger. It sounds like she traveled to a different state without needing to.
No, she was pregnant 6 weeks and 3 days, so it would have been against the law.
Let's see. 6 week of gestational age. What is gestational age?
I don't know. I just know she was 6 weeks and a few days pregnant. But like in Texas as well, that there's extreme laws, so she would have had to leave Texas too. And like the line between a necessary abortion for the mother's life, the debate if it's necessary for the mother's life in Texas can land you in prison if you're a doctor. It's just really scary for doctors to practice in that environment where they might be held by law to not give what they deem as proper care to their patients, especially when the state might disagree with them on what that proper care might be. So like if you're a little girl who gets raped in Texas, you might be in a really bad position because you're a little girl and you don't find out you're pregnant until a while. You're forced to carry the fetus. I'm against that, but that's why I'm against the Texas law. South Carolina, Ohio, Indiana, Oklahoma, all the red states have abortion laws that were. But it's probably these are the most radical abortion laws in American history. I'm pretty sure, because abortion was not really a hot topic until like the 70s or 80s when evangelicals picked it up as a political issue. But before that, we did not really care that much about it. I'm pretty sure.
Right, and I mean I can understand that. There's definitely instances that we've seen in the last several years in which courts hold ridiculous ideas to ridiculous claims. I wouldn't say necessarily. Again, I'd have to go and read the actual bill itself. To know what it means by current exceptions, because you can have a medical emergency, rape, incest. Again, this is just what I'm reading. Current exceptions: medical emergency, rape, incest, or if the pregnant person's life is in danger. I can't imagine that if the pregnant person's life is in danger would be limited to 6 weeks. I'm wondering if the same might be said for rape and incest.
No, there's no exemptions for that, I'm pretty sure. Also, what I said before, we basically, in these states, you're back to pre-1970 law, so like 1960s law.
No, well, and again, I'm agreeing with you to the degree that to the degree that medical emergency is very clearly defined in law. At the moment, in a majority of the states, medical emergency could be at whatever discretion the doctor deems a medical emergency. So if it's physiological results in death, sure, 100%. And my personal belief on this is, and I've been asked this before, if you had the choice between your wife and your child, which would you choose? And my choice is always my wife. The reason being, and it sounds callous, but the reason being, I can potentially conceive another child with my wife. And if it results, if it's the life of my wife versus the life of my child, potential child, if one has to survive, I'm going to choose my wife. And that is a current exception, medical emergency. And again, medical emergency, and that I think has to be clearly defined in law. And if it is at the state level, I don't think that practitioners would have any kind of there wouldn't be any wiggle room to say, well, I'm fearful.
There's a case called Zurowski versus the state of Texas. So another big issue is that, like, to provide this care legally, doctors need to wait until the woman is already suffering and to the point of actual, like, near death to do any, like, surgeries or any care, because if they do anything earlier, they might detect signs of something happening. They cannot perform anything on the woman to give her health care, to give her care, because it might be against the law. So Zurowski versus the state of Texas, several women were denied timely medical care during pregnancy complications because the doctors were scared of the restrictive abortion laws and losing their licenses and being put in jail for murder. So they waited until the women were in dire circumstances to actually give them care. And I know multiple women have, like, bled out trying to travel to blue states to get care, because doctors in the red states will just say, no, we're not going to take the chance, we're going to go to jail for this. So women need to drive to blue states then.
So what you're saying is that there is precedent set as a result of those who were in fear.
It's still scary when the line between you going to jail for a felony or not is such a subjective thing for the lawmakers and for the judges, though. Like, it's a very ideologically driven thing, and it's very anti-freedom, which is why I'm very against the laws in these states.
I can kind of, I mean, I can agree that it's scary, and there are two propositions that I have in order to fix the issue of it being scary. Right. Number one is very clearly defining in law what does or does not constitute for medical emergency, or if the pregnant person's life is in danger. Right. Clearly defining what that means is number one. And number two is for doctors to uphold their oath to do no harm.
And the Supreme Court, okay, but this is another thing too. But that oath, I'm saying these laws are making doctors violate their oath. So, like, the doctors waited till the point where she had they waited till she had septic shock and permanent reproductive damage, and she lost the case against the state of Texas. All these women lost the case. So the legal precedence is set that they will lose a case if they even bring it to them. So what the doctors did, letting the women go through septic shock to the point of losing the reproductive systems and almost dying, that was legal under Texas state law. That's barbaric. That's like third world country shit that we're doing in America.
All right, let me write this down because I want to read this law.
But that's why it's like a women's health issue. It's not because women, like, want to get abortions. It's because, like, pregnancy is a very, it's a child growing inside of someone. So, or a fetus growing into a child inside of someone who's gonna be coming out. And it messes up a woman's body, and a lot of women die giving birth and all that kind of stuff. And this is, I think, the mother. Let's see. Mortality rate for mothers in Texas
before you continue, what was the name of that bill? I want to because I'm
Zurowski versus
the
Texas.
name of that case.
ZURAWSKI versus Texas. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Yeah, I can't speak too much to this, obviously, because I haven't read the case. I'll pull the PACER documents and see what evidence was
and I would
provided.
also say too. So after the abortion ban, maternal mortality cases, this is women giving birth, rose by 56% since the abortion ban. It rose by 56%. So 56% more mothers are dying from like during birth because of the ban, because doctors are scared, like I said, and also the increase in infant mortality rose by 10%. And there's a 23% rise in deaths due to birth defects as well. So a lot more, yeah.
Can you provide the source for that?
Yeah. This article's from the New Yorker. It just disappeared when I clicked on it.
And the New Yorker's mainstream media. We don't trust them.
I'm trying to find what sources they went off of. What hospitals they cited. But this has been true across every state with the laws and the bans. Thank you, Jeremy, for $2. Thank you, Jeremy, for the balloon. Thank you, Edge House Journey, for $5. Thank you, Jeremy, again for $5. Jeremy said multiple women have died in Texas because of the abortion ban. Look it up. So yeah, I mean, you could do some looking up of the stuff for yourself, then call it another day if you want, or join the Discord too. There's debates going on in Discord pretty often at night. People talking in the voice chat. Yeah, nationwide there was like a 10% increase. Let's see where Wikipedia links us to. I'm gonna hop off and go to bed. So yeah, I'll let you finish for the stream. But
if you have the source for that, I mean, that'd be great. So just a couple of takeaways. I'm in agreement that Roe v. Wade should have been upheld only insofar as to define what a person is under the Constitution. Because if it's left up to the states, then the states have the ability to define what a person is, and we've seen what that does in the past. All right, that results in disparities between beings that exist, living beings, and I think I think you're more moderate than you are left. I think there are a lot of things that the Trump administration is doing that you do agree with. That
how about you make a list of those things? I'm not going to be streaming Friday or Saturday, but I will be streaming on Sunday or Monday. So if you want to hop back in with a list of things you think I'll agree with that Trump's doing, if you have like actual laws or whatever they want to pass, then bring them back and we'll see. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks for the call. More chill conversation. All the kids in chat getting bored. All right, appreciate you calling in. I'll be willing to have a conversation. But Daddy Trump would never be able to talk about this. I think he'd just say like 2 words all the time, like "wow," "not true," "wow," like over and over again.
You know, he's actually pretty well read. From all available reports on, he's very particularly well read on history. He's a very, very big connoisseur of historical objects, historical practices, and again, this is from available reporting, non-mainstream media. But yeah, there are several people that have sat and had conversations with him that said that he's pretty well read on a lot of things.
Yeah, well, John Kelly said he talked about Hitler a lot, so I believe that.
I mean, there's a lot to be understood.
I think Trump respects Hitler. I think Trump definitely respects Hitler, 100%. If he respects Putin, he definitely respects Hitler.
I think there's a difference between respect and admiration.
Okay, well, do you think he admires Hitler, or he admires?
I don't
Putin?
I don't think he admires Hitler. Let me put it to you this way: I can respect the tactics that Hitler utilized in his speeches. And the reason that I can respect that is because the tactics that he utilized are extremely
populist?
No, not populist. No, I'm not talking about the words that he said. I'm talking about the way that he delivered the speeches.
Fierce, passionate.
No, this is more of a psychological ingraining of ideas and understanding how to utilize those tactics. I can respect that he had a very, very good understanding of how to utilize tactics of human psychology against the people that he was speaking to. I can
Well,
respect
I mean,
that.
you could say that for any dictator. The social engineering they do is really impressive, but I think Trump has the same ability, and the same intentions.
Right, but that doesn't mean that I admire what
For power,
Hitler
I
did.
think Trump was the same. He has the same lust for power and same
I think
manipulative
I think
techniques
he
to
has a
speak.
very large. I think he has a very large ego, and he likes it to be stroked.
Yeah,
And-
but that can create really dangerous people if that's the only thing that drives them.
But what's to say that's the only thing that you can have? You can have something as a large driving factor, and not be the only thing that drives them.
Okay. Well, let's do this.
Monday.
I'm trying to think because
Monday.
okay, so if you bring a list of things, and this could be for myself too. Okay, so Monday, if you go on Discord, you could send me a message too if you have Discord, or whatever. But this could be good for me too. I can make a video titled Trump voter tries to convince me to be whatever, something like that.
No,
But yeah, that'll be a good little video.
I just offer this exercise. The exercise is to bring a list of whatever alternative talking points that you want. But also look into the things that you might have maybe 40 to 60% agreement on. Try and find those things. Like actually seek those things out. That's to me, this is my exercise, right? This is my exercise, and let me see to what degree can we come to common ground and have a mutual understanding, and past that, where do I see that there are arguments that are incorrect? Where do I see that there are arguments that I'm incorrect on?
Well, I'll say this too. I think what you said about getting people to think something different. I think you sound more reasonable than your politics are going to be, because I think you are more reasonable than your politics are. But I think Trump presents himself in the same way that Bernie does as a populist. But I think Bernie's too far left for American politics. But regardless, they present themselves as populists, which is why everyone that calls into my show, a lot of them say they would have voted for Bernie and they voted for Trump. But you think Trump is doing things he's not actually doing. So my goal of my channel would be to show you that he's not doing those things, and also direct people towards politicians who do want to do those things. So that can be a fun conversation. And then if you keep watching my channel, then yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been watching your channel for months, but and I've talked to you on Discord previously.
Dope.
My goal is to prove you right. I want to agree with you on the things that you're saying. If I know information, or if I have information that is outside of things that you're stating that is showing that you're not right, I'm going to call that out. If I have information that proves you right, that's what I'm pushing for.
Well, I think I should run for president, to be honest. I think I should run for Congress or something. If you think I sound like a moderate, I should definitely run for Congress then. I'd probably win.
I'd start local.
No, dude, you gotta go big, baby. Trump started with the presidency.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Get me on the Apprentice, dude. Get me started.
That I'd watch. I would watch that. No, but the reason that I say start local is because there's Nick Freitas had a quote in one of his shows, and he said there are people that are asking him how I want to run for Congress. How can I go about doing that? And his response was, to what degree have you fought? If you haven't fought through the ridiculousness of government at your local level, if you haven't fought through the ridiculousness of the
Oh,
things
okay.
that
I've been
you disagree
involved.
with.
I've been involved in local politics enough to be a part of a lot of things. So if I'm wasting time running for something just to get in the news and have a good time, then I'll definitely do something big. I don't disagree. Like getting local politics is a really great way to understand a lot of things about influence and dealing with people and and that's where you have to negotiate. Like local people on school boards and city councils and stuff, they do much harder jobs than U.S. representatives do. They're basically actors at that level. But at the local level, you really have to deal with budgets hands-on. Even state representatives do an actual real job. But our Congress people, they have people working for them doing the legislation. So like local politics is definitely a place to start. You got a lot more respect for what it takes to actually organize political movements and stuff. Okay, thank you for calling in. I'm gonna go eat food and go to bed, but I do appreciate it, and I'll chat with you again in a few days.
All right. Have a good weekend. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the $3. Bucky, thank you for $3. Also, on Cash App, thank you so much for the donation. Initials RQ. Thank you so much for the donation. $25 in Cash App. Thank you. Ugh. Thank you guys for watching and dropping a like and subscribing. I probably, once I get back from my travel this weekend, I have to travel a lot in the next month for work and stuff too. Yeah, drop a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching. There's boom and bust cycles in content creation, so people that watch my channel, don't get too caught up in every number for every stream and every video. Because I could look at every channel's analytics, and they have all slowed down this time of year, or like this media cycle. So like I was growing at like 300 subscribers a day a little bit ago, maybe 500 certain days, but it's just gonna go up and down. Like my numbers actually like go up and down every month. It really just depends on the algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna focus more on. I'm probably gonna focus a little bit harder on videos, on the video side of things. So if you can follow my other channel called, I have to switch around a few things about it. Crap. I might actually stream from this channel a couple times to get the subscribers up, to get to 1,000 subscribers. But here's my other channel. If you can go subscribe to that, that'd be awesome. I'm trying to get to 1,000 on this channel so I can monetize it, so I can post videos here as well, do more video reactions and that kind of stuff. So go to that channel, hit subscribe if you can. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Everyone take your oxys. Yeah, take your oxys. And freshen that channel pic. Is that one better than the one I have for my regular channel? Should I switch out the pictures? Is that a better one than my Jolah Talks Politics one? Thank you for subscribing there. Is it better than Jolah Talks Politics, or is that one fine too? You like the logo for it? The logo? More professional. This one is less formal. So you're saying the other one's more professional. The one that I have on my second channel is more professional, but the one on my main channel is... The one on my main channel is less professional. Should I switch them out? I like the logo for the top two. It's a good contradiction, or not contradiction. It's a good deviation from my regular channel's cover letter. Or cover photo, whatever it's called. I kind of like the distinction. If I'm gonna do more professional content on this channel and then post videos on that one. Or post like more commentary videos. I want to do commentary videos again, but I don't want my regular channel to be commentary videos. I want my regular channel to be like calls. But my calls are not going to do that good because that's not the content that's like popping off right now. Who knows? I'm just kind of doing this. I like the channel name though for a second channel. I finally decided on it today. I need to do what I said before about doing the Asmongold reactions as a way to grow. So I'm gonna do a lot of those videos. Maybe I'll do some tonight before I leave on my trip. But yeah, thank you guys for all the support, all the channel memberships. Thank you for the donations, for the support every night. I'll keep on producing this content and stuff. It'll be nice. I'm gonna take an actual break from politics this weekend. Like I'm gonna log out of Twitter. I'm gonna log out of Twitter this weekend. Crazy development, but I'm gonna log out of Twitter. Why have more channels? Because I want my channel to be talking about politics here. I don't want I want my main channel to be real world topics. I do not want my main channel to be me reacting to Asmongold and Hassan and Destiny. Okay? I want my regular channel to be actual politics conversations. And it'll be nice. It's also good to have more than one channel, too. Because if my main channel ever got banned for any reason, right? If my main channel ever gets banned, I have a backup channel. If I ever get a copyright strike or something, it's good to diversify. And I want to be monetized on that channel for if that happens. And I could hit I can also optimize both channels to hit different demographics. Cuz like doing all the different content on this channel messes up my algorithm like bad. And then my algorithm's all messed up and I can't like do the stuff I want to do. Shut up, Vanguard. Yeah, everyone take a break. That's one reason the engagement's going down too. People need breaks in between this stuff, in between it. But also it does have the effect that I said before, where you get like, it's like a drug that you get a tolerance to, where you're used to like, even, I mean, to be honest, I'm like down about numbers, but I literally on Monday of this week I had over 1,000. I got 300 subscribers on Monday. I had 1,300 viewers on my short stream. So it's like on a developing channel, it's gonna go up and down. What really matters is that I'm building up a base of you guys supporting my channel consistently, where you guys will be here every night, and then when like there's people that support my channel 100% that'll be here every night. Then there's gonna be people in the middle. And then there's going to be people that show up only when there's big things happening, when they want to like watch a debate or something or whatever. But I literally just had 1,300 viewers like 4 nights ago. So it's not worth like overthinking, you know? It's not worth overthinking. The rap channel? The raps are hard, dude. I was trying to rap earlier today. It's hard, dude. The raps are the hardest content to make. Hardest content to make by far. Make sure you go to my post on my channel, by the way. If you go to my channel, go to posts. I put 25,000 subscribers Q&A. Drop your questions in the chat. Okay? On my posts on my channel. Go and put a question for my Q&A for 25,000 subscribers whenever I get that in a few weeks. Go drop some questions there. But yeah, thank you for all the memberships, all the support, all the donations. Really helpful. I agree. I do want to do podcasts. I do want to talk to people and do interviews and stuff. I want to do collaborations, but people just don't like, I don't know. Educational videos. I do messaging guides, but I don't have time to do videos. It's hard to manage. I don't know. And my channel going through this down period right now for even 4 days is already making me like, oh crap, I need to DoorDash more. Because I was saying before I could quit DoorDash and only do my job and this. But I need to see how consistent these numbers are. I would love doing messaging guides though. I'm at 9,600 on TikTok. I need 10,000 to get monetized on there. That'd be pretty cool. Thank you, Kit. Kit was just glazing. Kit said, Jolah is one of the few that'll admit he's wrong when proven. He has vast knowledge. Stick around and you'll see. Thank you, Kit. Chat just needs to listen and watch. 113 watching? See, but that's not even bad. Like, brother, I have been not doing content. I've had 300 people watching this consistently with both streams combined. And I'm like, oh, this is it's a down night. Woe is me. And it's like, bro, I don't even post consistent videos to this freaking channel. I let this channel die. I'll have week gaps in between posting videos. Like, that matters too, because if I don't post consistent videos, then my channel has less traffic. If my channel has less overall traffic, then I don't have people for the live streams as much. Then I'm going completely off of who finds my videos from the live stream feed. But if I have actual videos on my channel that people are watching, then people that stop by to watch that video will join the live streams and be able to see me talk. So I need to actually focus on everything. But yeah, I need a break too. Once I get this break from everything, I could write down some ideas and concepts and stuff, and a few days break from politics, guys. This guy has autism with ADHD, a common combination. True, LM. Thank you for noticing. Literally, all you care about is cash. You've said monetize 20 times in 15 minutes. Yes, I do care about cash, dumbass. You don't care about putting food on the table? You dumbass little piece of shit. No shit, dumbass. Of course I can't spend here on my ass for 8 hours a night talking to assholes like you and not get paid. You think I'm gonna do this shit for free? I already do this shit for free in my daily life. I do this every day. Already. I'll go argue in Facebook comments if I want to fight for free with people and make content and videos. Of course I want ad revenue and shit. Dumbass. Horizontal is chill. If this channel ever gets really big, I'll make horizontal members only. We'll see. I don't know how this shit works. Alright. I'm gonna hop in Discord and chat for a little bit if you want to join Discord. Sri, thank you for $5. Sri, Oxy. Oh, we love Oxy. Oxy's so cute. So now they're against the free market. Exactly. Now they're against the free market. Now they could talk about making money's bad. Yeah, great. Alright, I need some people to collab with because Pisco hates me. Let me see. I'll have to get a list of people to collab with, dude. Maybe I'll just like go on a bunch of small channels, like super small, like I don't know, like a couple hundred subscribers. Interesting. Pay for fake callers. Which chat will you be on? I look at both back and forth as much as I can. Your nose gets bigger every time I see you. You're like the real life Pinocchio. Thank you, Chris. Don't give this douche money. Thank you. Lefty libs. Haha. Thank you. Yeah, with a real job, Random Factory. Yeah, I do have a real job, dumbass. I know you're against people that actually work for a living because you support Daddy Trump, but you can not be cringe. You ever think about not being cringe? That'd be a cool idea you can try. I wonder how many real channel members I have. Considering a lot of the channel members are gifted subs. Why does it say my freaking my channel says I have a lot of rock music fans? All right, I'm going to bed, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.
Shout out to everybody. I want to talk to y'all real quick. Wait up. Yo, shout out to everybody. Trump ain't hit the super chat or some stop. I know y'all used to trying to get everything
most of the people that watch my channel watch.
Shout out to everybody. I want to
It's
talk
all-
to y'all real quick.
I'm looking at people that watch other creators. It's all Trump fans. Here's a KRS-One hip hop channel. Media. Here's a reaction channel that people watch. The Dems have lost their mind. That might be ruining my feed, dude. All of the comparable videos to my channel, all of the videos that the people that view my channel watch are from like super far right channels. Like literally it's all bro, it's all black Trump channels. It's all black Trump supporter channels. It's all black Trump supporters. Bro. Oh, it's killing my algorithm, dude. It's all black Trump supporters. You're a conservative and you love my show? You're not a conservative. You're a Jolah Terrier. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you guys. Oh, lady. Thank you guys for the donations. If you want to donate, remember, Jolah Politics on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, or on Coffee. Thank you guys for the support. Have a good night. See you guys on Sunday. If you want updates on everything, go to my Discord. Join Discord, guys. Join Discord. Join Discord. Yeah, the word Trump. Thank you guys, channel members. I love seeing the green. I love seeing the green in chat. See you guys Sunday. Goodbye. Have a good night. Thank you again.